So instead of having a lecture this time, Reverend Susan Gray had an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with Ibram X. Kendi. It was
Good morning. My name is Ann Packham. I'm going to be your service leader this morning. Please take a moment to silence any machines that may cause any distraction in our service today while as we settle into our shared sacred space. We welcome those who are here face to face as well as those who are online on Zoom and on YouTube. Take a moment to wave to our friends out there in the cyber world. We ask that you, if you're here in the sanctuary, you leave your mask on unless you're at the microphone or here at the podium. And before we get into the meat of the program today, we offer an opportunity for our committees to share what's going on. So is any committee chair available? Come to the microphone here or we'll bring it to you and share what's going on.
There we are. I'm going to step back because I got the big preacher voice. General Assembly is still going on, and we will be having today, you get, if you want, a BOGO worship service. If you hang around until about 12:30, we're going to share the closing worship of General Assembly here on the big screen. It is definitely worth it. We'll be hearing a little bit about GA today. I invite you to hang around. If we get done early enough, you can hop out, grab something to eat, come back. You can always snack on cookies. We may need to be eating our feelings today, so that works too. So please hang around. Also, our next in-person Vespers service will be the first Wednesday of July. So not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, and I will have more information in the notable news. Thank you.
Hi, Lori Streel Hospitality. I have a wonderful opportunity for all of you. We have some openings in July and August for people to help serve coffee. The sign-up sheet is directly under the pillar over there, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys would take advantage of this opportunity and join us in working.
Right. No workers, no coffee.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan, Chair of the Marketing Committee, the new committee. Just wanted to let everyone know that we did have our first meeting this past Wednesday. I thought it went really well, but we're having our next meeting July the 6th, which is on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And if you're interested in joining the Marketing Committee, or if you have some experience, or even if you just have some ideas or suggestions you'd like to share, please reach out to me or just join us on the 6th of July. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here standing in for people who are at General Assembly or other places. There is a program planning meeting this Thursday at 6:30. It's going to be via Zoom, and that link will be in the notable news. There will also be a SAC meeting at 11:55 via Zoom. That's today, in the notable news also. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. You see I'm smiling? Oh, no. August 21st, we're going to have a program on dementia, Alzheimer's, specifically for caregivers. And so if you could, I'm going to talk to Kelly after Sunday about devoting her entire July to publicizing this, so we're reaching out to the public on this one as well. So you have friends right now who are caregivers or know of a caregiver. Let them know about this. It's going to be helpful. Not only the talk, which will be given by someone from the Alzheimer's Dementia Association, but following our cookie time, there's going to be an hour-and-a-half presentation in great depth, in more depth, where people can interact with the speaker. So since Lorraine heads the pastoral committee and I'm just a wee part of it, and Lorraine is not here today, that's why I'm pitching it. Yeah.
So you can see we're a busy congregation. So if you're not on the list to get the notable news, if you're a visitor here, make sure you sign the book in the front, and then we'll get you on the list so you can get all the information and join in all the fun that we're having here. My opening words today are from the Reverend Lynn Unger. She writes, "You are not wrong to be furious. You are not wrong to be scared. You are not wrong to wonder what we do today and tomorrow and tomorrow. You are not wrong to notice the brilliance of the sky. You are not wrong to think of your daughter. You are not wrong to imagine people you will never know. You are not wrong to think, this doesn't really affect me, and to know it really does. You are not wrong to look for pictures of puppies and kittens or flowers and trees. You are not wrong to try to massage the ache out of your heart. You are not wrong to yell or cry or scream or hide under the covers in your bed. You are not wrong to turn to your neighbor and say, what do we do now? In our faith, we light a chalice as a symbol of our faith, and today our chalice lighter is Chase. Chase is 12 years old. Chase goes by the pronouns he, him, and he's super excited because he rode his bike without training wheels. So we will say to the words that are not on the screen, but we know them already, right? Oh, in the light of truth, in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Looks like I missed the opening music, which on my program is the reverse. So we'll go ahead and do our affirmation, and then go back to our music. So go to the next slide, will you, Miguel? Our affirmation of this church is, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Well, now we're going to go back to our opening music. Our opening music is actually in the hymnal, and it is number 346. Feel free to sing along.
Sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
I know I say this every time, but it's just nice to have live music back in our sanctuary. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our guests. Anybody who's visiting here for the first time or for many times, welcome. As you know, we have a different program every week. Sometimes we have our minister here. Sometimes we have speakers from the outside intellectual community, from nonprofits, and then sometimes we have members of our own congregation providing our services. So please visit us multiple times to get to know us. Stick around for coffee, tea, cookies after the service. We're a pretty fun group. And please greet your neighbor to say hello. All right, got to bring you back. Come on back. I didn't bring out my little bell, but pretend the bell is ringing. This is the time in the service where we share joys and concerns. These are issues in our lives that are touching us deeply. Sometimes they bring us great joy, and sometimes the opposite. So please feel free to come to the microphone, and if you want the microphone brought to you, I'm happy to do that.
So we all know what happened on Friday, and so we hold that, and this is also my gentle reminder that we have young ears in the sanctuary, And so those are conversations for their responsible adults to have with them. And we hold that pain and that rage and that grief, and we know that we have work to do. And we'll be going more into that in the sermon. I also want to hold traveling mercies for our beloveds who are at General Assembly, and for them to be safe. There have been, so far as of yesterday morning, 11 cases of COVID at General Assembly. So even with wearing masks, even with being vaccinated, there are, this new variant's running fast too. So continue to be safe and do what you need to do so that we can protect all of us. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I have a joy in that I so appreciate the people here who are sharing their talents. Janet, when she gets up, Chase to help us light the chalice, Anne being a great service leader. But most importantly today, I'd really like to say thank you to Miguel, who is back there taking the place of Patrick, which are big shoes to fill, and he's doing a great job. And he's come in here and taken his own time to figure out this system and to learn it, and it is not an easy one. I just thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. We all need to contribute and to work together and to share our talents. And I especially want to thank Chloe and Taylor for not letting me fall on my face at RE this morning.
Hi, David McElroy. I have first the concern. Marilyn was to be here today to greet people, but yesterday we were cleaning up the beach house for a new guest to come in, and she twisted her back along with her ankle, so she's walking kind of in a hitch along, I guess you might call it. Hitch in or get along. Thank you, Chloe. The joys I have is, one, for the first time in, I think, 11 or 12 years I've been here, I was a greeter. And it was so nice to see all of you come in, and I'll probably be doing it a little bit more, so. And the other joy is about, she's standing in line here, so she may be speaking about this, but I saw Chloe's show last night, and it was very interesting. The acronym of LBGQ plus was explained somewhat greatly, but I still need to come back and see it again to really understand more. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Lindsay Stroh, I have exciting news. I am moving to Palm Valley, which is right around the corner, and have put in an offer which has been accepted. I have to sell my place, a lot of work to do, but I'm very excited about it. There's all kinds of activities over there, and especially want to thank Lori, who spent the other evening helping me put boxes and put it in a storage shed, and sharing her strength with me, and I really appreciate her friendship.
Hi, Chloe Hatfield. I have a joy and a concern, and I always try to follow up with the joy first because there's lots of joys that we need to celebrate. One of them, my joy, is that with my employment with the Orlando Science Center, I've gotten to meet a lot of like-minded individuals and have been able to befriend them, and I've never had that in a workplace before, not even with Disney, to where I'm constantly in touch with them, we're hanging out, we're enjoying each other's company, and I'm so thankful for the friends that I have made at the Science Center. I'm actually meeting them today for a sewing circle that I started hosting for my OSC friends, my Orlando Science Center friends. So it's really nice to enjoy their company, and we went to a play the other night, and it was really great and really fun to hang out with them. So that's my joy. My concern is, and this might sound a little silly, that I'm going to be talking about a TikToker. If you know what TikTok is, it's a online, it's a social media app with lots of videos. There is a TikToker on there Ophelia Nichols, she goes by Mama Tot on TikTok, and my heart goes out to her today because she has been an online mom for people who might not have that loving, accepting presence or need those kind of mom talks and advice. Unfortunately, last night, her son was killed, and to add salt to the wound, today is his 19th birthday, and so that just hit me out of left field to hear that. I have never felt so much emotion about news like that for somebody I've never known before, other than it being, big tragedies that have happened in the community. So it just really hurt my heart because as somebody who is a mom out there to all these people on the internet who need her, she lost her son, and my heart goes out to her.
Hello, Kelly Buchanan. I have two joys. One is I'm really joyful and appreciative that our Reverend Tracie actually was able to to hold the General Assembly session here live from church. And it was just wonderful to participate in General Assembly here at our church and to really feel connected to some of the things that they were talking about. And one of the things that we watched was the bridging ceremony, and it was extremely emotional for me because it really reminded me of how important the work that we do here with our young people, and then when they bridge over to become young adults, that they're carrying the torch at this point, and hopefully, they're going to go out there and blaze a trail, right? But my second joy is we got the news on Friday that Roe versus Wade was overturned. And if you don't know that our theme as Unitarians is meet the moment, and that came out of General Assembly, meaning whatever's going on, we meet that moment. And so my joy is that we have some young bridgers here today, Amelia and Olivia, who actually met the moment on Friday as our young bridgers. They heard about Roe versus Wade being overturned. They met the moment, they got their signs, they got ready mentally and physically. They went to downtown and they rallied for us, and they represented us very well. And I just want to say that just shows that our RE program is so valuable, and we have bridgers that are out there representing us. And I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I second that. Hi, I'm Chloe A. McElroy. My concern is obviously Roe v. Wade, and we're sad now. We're going to lick our wounds, and we're going to rise. My big joys, one is that I opened my show, The B is for Bullshit, this weekend, and it is an awesome show. Like my dad said, it discusses the LGBTQ plus community and whether or not you're allowed to change your letters on people. But it happens all the time. People are discovering things about themselves every day, and you're allowed to be however you identify. And it can change every day, and that's okay. And I really love this show, especially that it's taking place at the end of Pride Month. We have one more weekend. We have another show today at 2:30 if you want to do your double worship service and then come see an awesome show. And we're skipping 4th of July weekend, but then we'll have another Friday, Saturday, Sunday show the 8th, 9th, and 10th of July. Just putting that out there. And my other big joy is that I have a white Toyota RAV4 named Baymax hanging out in the parking lot right now. My dad and I spent two or 3 days driving back and forth to Leesburg because we couldn't find any other cars in the area. Finding a car is very hard right now. My parents fronted me the money for this car too, so I'm very appreciative of that. Don't get in a car accident, friends. It's not fun. And trying to replace your car right now is very difficult. So those are my big joys and my very big concern.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm representing the joys and concerns that were shared online. And Evelyn shares the concerns over the Supreme Court ruling that so many people have mentioned and is on so many hearts. In addition, Beth Kiefer is home, and she is much better. So.
Hi, I'm Molly Lesnick, and my husband Alan is here. We moved up from South Florida, where we lived for 50 years since we were married, and moved to a CCRC continuing care community. Our son lives up here, only 2 miles away, and so that's why we moved. And we were so happy to find a Unitarian Universalist fellowship just right down the street. We live at Legacy Point, which is right opposite the Econ River, kind of catty corner. Anyway, and I just wanted to let you know that we're going up to Pennsylvania for a month to be with family and in the woods and get cool a bit when we'll be back, so in case you don't see us.
Morning, everyone. Michelle Flores. I've said it a couple of times. I will continue to say it. We are doing the last day of cookie fundraiser for Jules's summer pre-college program, which we're super excited about. They're going to be leaving in like 3 weeks, and then they'll be gone for a couple of weeks. So, again, super proud of them. Really excited about everything, and last day of cookie sale fundraising for that. So, thank you.
Let's just take a moment to think about what's been said today, all the joys and the concerns, and meditate on them for a moment and hold them in your hearts. Amen. Our time for all ages, as I understand, is coming from the cyber world. Is that right? So Miguel, I think, is going to play a recording. Is it not live? It's right. It's a recording of Judith from General Assembly. So let's see if we can get the tech to work. Oh, there we go.
All right, Triple U, getting ready to go into the first plenary session. So, you all should be watching. So normally, we have a parade of all the banners. But this year, it seems that everything is literally up in the air. So many people have canceled. So many plans have had to change. Oh, look, there we are. There we are. Thank you to Chris Reed for bringing us our banner. But so many plans were up in the air that I think they decided no parade this year, which was great because Chris and I didn't have to think, and Martha didn't have to think about carrying all the paraphernalia that you need to put a banner up in the air.
Does it seem to be over, Miguel, or is there more? There's a message. There we go.
There's LREDA, the Liberal Religious Educators Association. That's where I was yesterday. So this is your own little banner parade. Here we go, more banners. Anybody you know? Oregon? Salem, Massachusetts. Oh. So did you know that it's pronounced Willamette? Willamette, not Willamette? The things you learn. You gotta know a DRE must have created this table. Look at this. There's something for everybody. Something to keep you busy, something to distract you. Thank you, DREs of Unitarian Universalism. Can you guys hear my squeaking shoes?
Y'all know this
It's
by
the
now,
floor.
but I earned a religious education credential this year and had the honor of walking across the stage during the service of the living tradition. Thank you for all your support. So instead of having a lecture this time, Reverend Susan Gray had an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with Ibram X. Kendi. It was awesome.
Martha and Chris, you've been at GA for several days now. How'd you like it?
It's different from previous General Assemblies. There aren't quite as many workshops to choose from, which is good and frustrating.
Okay.
And I've really been enjoying what I've attended, especially today with the UUSC. I got to meet Laura Randall, whom I used for a service several months ago that y'all might remember, and am inspired to use even more faith language when I'm out there complaining about the way things are. As a person of faith, I do not consent.
There you go.
I like that very
Yeah.
much. That was wonderful.
Chris, how has it been for you?
For the most part, it's been really wonderful. I was here early because I was doing registration, and so I love greeting people as they arrive and signing them in and seeing them from all over the place. I went to a fabulous workshop on OWL and learned about some updates and some things other congregations are doing, and I'm very committed to doing adult OWL.
Yay! We're going to do adult OWL!
Adult OWL. And it was such an honor for us to be here to watch Judith receive her credentials.
Oh yes, that was fabulous.
Yes. To cheer when she got
Yay,
to walk
Judith.
across the stage, that was a big deal.
I forgot my air horn.
I know, that's right. I know. And the Synergy service was amazing, and watching the bridging was so creative, and the youth are such a gift to us all. It's so wonderful. And I was so thankful to be here in this community with people I love when we received the news about the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Because we were angry and heartbroken, and I was determined to find a way to do something, and we were able to go with other people here in Portland and to demonstrate that evening, and that meant a lot to me. So we will carry our passion home, and we will be there to help do all kinds of things. So thank you for allowing us to be here on behalf of you all, to be your delegates and to be your representatives. And we have one more day.
Yeah.
One more day. Yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow's worship. I want to hear more from Reverend Susan Gray about our holy anger.
There we go.
And how we use it.
There we are. Okay, real quick, how was Ibram Kendi?
Oh, awesome.
That's good, folks.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
Very good. Very good. I hope some of you are enjoying the watch party.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it was worth it. Thank you, Reverend Tracie, for doing that. And also, I forgot to mention, we've heard just a little bit about the eighth principle. Right. This weekend.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Just a
and
little bit.
I'm excited to dig in more.
And
So
the
get ready.
and the Article 2 Commission, right?
And
Yep.
the Article 2
Yep.
Commission.
Yep.
And I got to meet the woman who was responsible for the parents and caregivers as sexual educators, and that was so exciting for her and for me. So that was really wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right.
That's it.
All right. Thank y'all.
Yeah, I was here last night watching the Ware lecture, and it was actually fantastic. I learned a lot. So I don't know if they ever archive those, if you can watch them later. Okay. Great. I think that would be great. We're going to have our interlude and offering. We give 40% of the loose offering to Harbor House this time, this quarter. So please give generously. I think we have our young people passing the baskets around. And then we'll have our choir singing in the meantime.
We'll be singing This Little Light of Mine. I'm sure you all know it. We invite you to sing along. It's number 118 in your hymnal. Yeah.
Are we singing out our youth today? All right. I think the words are supposed to show up on the screen, the new song. All right, ready? We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. Still getting that tune, I guess. There we go. Thank you, Erin. Our sermon today will be by the Rev Tracie Barrett. I don't think she needs any introduction. She's been our minister since September, and she will be speaking us today. I don't remember the topic because I think it's changed over the last couple days, so take it away.
This week, our Unitarian Universalist Association gathered to do the work of the association. And the theme this year, as Kelly said, was Meet the Moment. And when General Assembly started, the focus was on the justice work we need to do both within and outside our denomination on systemic racism. And then Friday happened. And I will tell you now, I'm going to be sharing a lot of my colleagues' words here because the words that I have are currently not yet filtered for being able to be spoken from a pulpit. They are still raw. They are still angry. And in some households, most of them would cause my mouth to be washed out with soap. And while I have no problem sharing those words in the public sphere, in personal conversations, and on Facebook, I do, as a minister, hold this pulpit as a holy and sacred space. Our anger is holy, our rage is holy, and I will definitely be deep into my sermon script so that the exact words that have been screamed out of me this weekend do not come out on this pulpit. Because I want you to hear the words that are important. And some people get caught up when ministers cuss from the pulpit, so I'm going to do my damnedest, to not do that today. I want you to be able to share this sermon video from YouTube to friends and loved ones and whoever, and have them hear me clearly and not get caught up in the cuss words. Understand? As most of you know now, on Friday the Supreme Court put out a ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade, the bedrock court decision that made abortion accessible and safe. And when that happened, I knew that this was one of those times as a minister that you throw out the sermon you planned because this needed attending to. However, as you'll see, the theme of General Assembly worked for this time as well, for this moment, because now more than ever we need to meet this moment. You see, this isn't just about abortion. This is about the intersectionality of racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, bodily autonomy, and reproductive justice. My colleague, the Reverend Callie Fire, said on Friday, maybe you aren't worried about SCOTUS overturning Roe v. Wade. Maybe you're older and have had all your children now. Or maybe you identify as male and you think that your bodily autonomy is off limits. Or maybe you never think you'd be someone who would end a pregnancy. So maybe you think this isn't relevant to you. Maybe you aren't worried about it. To be sure, this will not stop at Roe. This is about human rights and liberties that are just not convenient or profitable to those who want to see this government and society run the way it did for many generations in history. This will not stop at Roe. The rage that many of us are feeling right now is because we know that this is simply the first domino. Nicholas Goldberg from the Los Angeles Times had this to say. By now, everyone has heard that a range of personal liberty and privacy cases may be in jeopardy because they rely on the same logic as Roe v. Wade. The right to use contraception, to marry who you want, to engage in the sort of consensual sex you want in your own home. These rights are all potentially in danger because, like the right to abortion, they are not specifically enumerated in the U.S. Constitution and may not be deemed to be deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions. Clarence Thomas has said as much, out loud, well, in writing, but still. In his concurring opinion to the decision on Friday, he said that the Supreme Court should reconsider Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. The rulings that currently protect contraception, same-sex relationships, and not just that, it also protects what consensual acts you do in your own home, and same-sex marriage. That is what is on the line. So what do we do? How do we stop ourselves from drowning in the rage and the grief and the fear? We come together. At General Assembly, the author of Emergent Strategy, Adrienne Marie Brown, said that we need to recognize that the state will not save us. What will save us then? She said, quote, interdependence in this moment is what will keep us safe. Interdependence. That's our seventh principle, right? the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. You and me and you, that is what will keep us safe. Wednesday night at the opening worship for General Assembly, the Reverend Bill Sinkford said, "We do not do this work alone. We are always striving to answer that call to change and love." Are we on the right path? Are we working towards connection? We need to be ministered to so that we can minister to the world outside of our walls. That's why we come together on Sunday mornings and in the various ways we gather together as a community. We come together to be ministered to minister to one another so that we can go out and minister to this hurting world. Pastor Jacqueline Duhart spoke Thursday night at the service of the Living Tradition, a service where we recognize the milestones of our religious professionals. And she said clearly at the start of her sermon, "My responsibility is to rise to the moment and answer the call of love with a resounding yes. If I am afraid, my call is to find others who are called to join with me." Our responsibility is to rise to the moment and answer the call of love with a resounding yes. And if we are afraid, our call is to find others who are called to join with us. Beloveds, look around. And it's not just us. We have partners in this fight for reproductive justice. We need to find those who are called to join us in this fight and work together to answer the call of love. Pastor Duhart continued, "The radical in you needs to rise up to be collaborative, courageous, and bold in civic engagement." She reminded us that we have been placed on this earth to bear witness to one another, to lift one another up, to be a bridge to get us all to wholeness. And just going to church on Sunday isn't enough. It's just not. We have to build relationships and have courage because those two together allow us to share our fear and move towards freedom. It's okay to be afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what the next steps are of this Supreme Court. I'm afraid for beloveds who have had their freedoms stripped away. I'm afraid for beloveds who are part of the next dominoes that are about to fall. And I'm also angry. Friday morning, I arrived here to Triple U before I saw the news. It was Richard who texted me to tell me what happened. And I am so thankful I was alone in this building at that moment because I screamed. I raged. I had a panic attack that forced me to spend time bent over, breathing and grounding. And I was thankful that the General Assembly worship service that morning was there to help share my pain. Not ease it. None of us were there yet. Instead, we sang, we cried, we prayed, and we raged. Community, relationship, even across the country. Hearing our UUA president, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, cry and rage with us at the opening of Friday's general session helped as well. And multiple times over the first 2 days of General Assembly, I heard the following from W.E.B. Du Bois. Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future day or future year. It is today that we fit ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Now are the hours of work, and tomorrow comes the harvest and the playtime. When these words were used, it was to discuss the systemic racism present in both our denomination and the wider community. And yet, as it goes, it also applies to Roe. Because as I said, the reproductive justice framework holds all of the intersectionalities of race, sex, gender, and class. Now is the accepted time. Now is when we need to do the work. Pastor Duhart finished her sermon on Thursday night by saying this: "We are the audacious, embodied dreams of our ancestors. Now is the time to rise up and answer the call of love for the great mystery that holds all of us, that does not just call us once, but calls us into service over and over and over. Now is the pivotal moment to collaborate across borders, activate our courage, and be bold in civic engagement. Now. Now is the time, because this fight is just beginning. Friday night, I watched a workshop by the Reverend Rosemary Bray McNatt and the Reverend Julie Taylor from the UU Trauma Network called Holding Fast, Living Through Collective Trauma. It was intended to be about how we are living through the third year of a collective trauma of a pandemic, in addition to violence, threats to democracy, extreme weather, and climate change. And now this. It was timely and it was needed. Reverend Julie Taylor reminded us in this session that these walls, the walls of our building, are to hold the roof up, not to keep people out and not to keep Unitarian Universalists inside. We have to get up and get out. Rabbi Daniel Bogard has this to say: at moments like this, when the flames of justice and hope can feel like they are flickering out, there is an ironic comfort in Jewish history and in its reminder that progress moves in waves and currents. We are a people who have long borne witness to the truth that every Pharaoh that rises will invariably fall, even those pharaohs who have garbed themselves in stolen robes of justice. 2,000 years ago, Rabbi Tarfon looked out at his world and saw his people decimated by generations of Roman occupation and destruction. He saw justice subverted at every turn by a politics determined to bend the people to its will. And he lived in a reality where meaningful, substantive reform and change was only conceivable as an endeavor of generations, never the work of a single lifetime. Yet despite the seeming impossibility of it all, Rabbi Tarfon's response to a broken world, starving for dignity, was to make us swear that no matter how hard the work, no matter how impossible it might seem to shift the currents of history, that we must never stop trying. You are not obligated to complete the work, he said nearly 2,000 years ago, but how dare you even think of desisting from it? He continues, I'm holding on to Rabbi Tarfon today as I hold back tears while thinking of the world that our children are inheriting from us. I'm trying to remind myself that despondency is no justification for nihilism, that perhaps we were created just for this moment and just for this task, and that most importantly, the generations yet to come are counting on us to do the slow, sacred work of building the future that they deserve. Ring the bells that can still ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Let's get to work. Saturday, at the end of our general session, the Reverend Ashley Horan had these words for us. This is a moment for evangelism. This is a moment for articulation of our faith and being out there. She continued, this is a deeply theological commitment for us. A commitment to reproductive justice is our commitment. Our theology declares that we are born with the twin gifts of agency and conscience, and that our bodies are sacred. Our liberation is bound up together, and none of us are free until all of us are free. That is our theology. Indeed, beloveds, let us ring the bells that can still ring. Let us go out boldly and declare that attacks on bodily autonomy are against our religious tradition and religious rights. We have to be bold. We have to be loud. We have to state that this is a violation of everything we believe in as a religious tradition. As Reverend Susan Frederick Gray has said for the past few years, this is no time for a casual faith. The opposition is loud, but we can be louder. We have to use our faith language to counter the arguments. We have to tell people that there are faith traditions, plural, because we are not the only ones, who hold that the right to bodily autonomy and making decisions and reproductive care are sacred and part of our religious rights. It's okay to be angry, and it is okay to be scared. It's okay to feel all the feelings you're having right now, but it cannot cause us to freeze. It cannot cause us to give up. It cannot cause us to be silent. Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future day or future year. It is today that we fit ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Now are the hours of work, and tomorrow comes the harvest and the playtime. We are not obligated to complete the work, but we cannot desist from doing it. This is our theological mandate. This is how we take the great love that holds us all and share it in the world. Amen. May it be so, and blessed be.
I'm going to extinguish the chalice and we'll say the words on the screen. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We'll have our closing music, which I believe is also in the hymnal. I don't know where I remember what, a Blue Boat Home, 346. Please.
The screen is incorrect. It's actually 1046 in the teal.
It's 1046 in the teal.
1046 in the teal. Oh yeah, let's stand up. Let's stand up. Yes.
Below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The broad universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, the making a way by the lights of the heavens, and the beautiful view boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hear the great winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea below me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
My closing words today are from the Reverend Stephen Schick. It's entitled Useful Anger. And he starts with a short quote by Marge Piercy, an author that many of us are familiar with. A good anger swallowed clots the blood to slime. But what is it to be done with, this anger that dare not be swallowed? Should it be diluted with denial, cooled with indifference? Should it be sweetened with good intentions, softened with lies? Should it be spewed out red hot over searing tongues, scorching the guilty and innocent alike? What's to be done with it, this anger that dare not be swallowed? Don't dilute it, deny it, cool it. Don't sweeten it or soften it, but pause for a moment. Could you hold it before your eyes, examine it with your heart and mind? Could you hold it, then touch it to your belly, that place where your soul rests? Could you let it enter there, knowing it is a part of you that needs to be treated kindly, that needs to be listened to that needs to be honored? For it has the power to save you, to save us all. Amen. And we will end our service now. Please join us for coffee and tea and our lovely cookies in the back. Thank you. Got your medicine? Okay. Do you need to go home to do that?